Hello, hello, hello. Let's go. It's me versus Aaron here live on Mock Draft Live. The Rachaad White slander has been going on for too long. Someone's got to take Aaron down a peg. Aaron, how's it going, my friend?
Doing well, my friend, doing well. Even though we've always got our fun little beef across multiple players, it's all in good jest here. Jack and I are truly good friends, but tonight I'm taking him down in Mock Draft Live.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't be so sure. Seth is definitely going to be rooting for me as well. Happy to have Seth in the chat as well as the hairy snowman. This is going to be fun. And it's going to be fun because I'm going to get a W.
We shall see on that one. And of course, Seth's in the comments because I beat him last week. The community tab has spoken. They liked my mock draft better than Seth's last week. That's why I'm on the show today.
Yeah, we'll see if it lasts. We'll see if it can keep up. I was gracious enough in this Superflex mock draft to give you the 101. I thought I was being kind. I hope you agree with me. I hope I didn't overstep.
Nah, and the 101, let's not get cute, right? There's only one answer. Doesn't matter if it's Superflex, 1 QB. You got to go Bijan Robinson. The running back prospect that checks all those boxes there. You know, it's this running back class gets a little questionable. There's a major drop-off after Bijan. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to take the 101 of the running backs.
Really? You're not going to go quarterback in a Superflex league. You're going to go with Bijan Robinson. Are you sure about that?
I will go with a generational talent at running back in Bijan Robinson.
I don't know about that, Aaron. I think you should pass and you should take your top quarterback. Who's your top quarterback?
My top quarterback for fantasy purposes, I'm always swinging for upside. I would want to have Anthony Richardson because that upside, if it hits, like that does win leagues.
Well, you know we're enemies, right? You're not supposed to tell me that. You're not supposed to tell me who you wanted to pick. So I just got Aaron's guy. I was taking him anyways, but now I know just how desperately Aaron wanted Anthony Richardson. And yes,
I'm a generous person. What can I say?
You got to shoot for the upside, though. That is an absolute fact. You can't be getting cute with Bryce Young. You can't be getting cute with Bryce Young just because, he's the best quarterback he at Alabama. No, don't get cute. It's Anthony Richardson. See, there are people that will make the argument. I was talking just before this show on Player Profiler today that CJ Stroud, because it's Superflex, because you need the stability, maybe the pick is CJ Stroud over Anthony Richardson. What are your thoughts on that?
For me, for fantasy, we have to evaluate it for fantasy purposes. I'd still go Richardson. I get it. Like Stroud may be the quote unquote better NFL quarterback, but at the end of the day, the rushing advantage of Richardson is going to more than make up for that over CJ Stroud. And we look back to the 2018 draft? Is that the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, the rest of the guys draft? Like we saw which quarterbacks are the ones that are helping us in fantasy and which ones are not. So taking the guys that can run. It's weird. You're fading the guys that are going 101 in the NFL draft because those Konami code quarterbacks usually fall just a little bit.
Well, and I'm winning the draft so far. Seth has crowned me the champion. Hopefully I can keep that going. Who are you going to take with your next pick?
And well, one of the things,
this is a super flex league for the hairy snowman, just to clarify things. That's Anthony Richardson. I'm not taking Anthony. I'm not taking Anthony Richardson 102 in a standard or a one quarterback. But
right. So definitely super flex draft. When I look here, this will be the interesting decision, and I might have a unique strategy on this one because I'm actually not going to go QB. I'm going to mix it up a little bit.
Wow.
I mean Jaxon Smith-Njigba because the wide receivers, man, after JSN, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of those guys. And it's a mock draft live. I know how these things work because the player profiler is always looking at how the teams look. Oh, did you check all the boxes? Well, I can say in this mock draft live that I have the best running back and the best receiver. Yes, it would be hot and spicy in a super flex draft to go JSN, but it really is kind of telling about the QBs themselves. JSN, I think, is surefire hit in the NFL for fantasy football. I'm not so sold on the other 3 QBs.
Wow. Okay. I mean, if you want to pass on quarterback in a super flex league where quarterbacks are currency, where they're only going to go up in value, where this is not even the peak of where Anthony Richardson, where CJ Stroud where Will Levis is going to go. I mean, hey, if that's how you want to play this, all right. I will once again shoot for upside. I'm taking Will Levis. I know it's a super flex. I know a lot of people go CJ Stroud, but I'm taking the Konami code of Will Levis over CJ Stroud. I get the 2 highest upside players in this league. Because if a quarterback hits, it's more valuable than Bijan hitting in Superflex. If Anthony Richardson, if Will Levis become Josh Allen, I'm the league champion for years and years to come. So go me. Good job, Jack.
I can respect that. I can respect going for the upside of Will Levis, a guy that could potentially maybe be a dual threat guy. Then there's been some maybe Josh Allen type comps for it. I can respect that because I honestly thought you would go Stroud and leave me to draft Will Levis and to take that gamble. But I will gladly at 105 take CJ Stroud. Yes, it's boring. Is the upside the same as the other 2? Maybe not. But in terms of just hitting and giving me starts in Superflex leagues, I will take CJ Stroud. I believe in the QB talent there. I think this is the QB that has the highest draft grade, and we'll see. Maybe he could become the most prolific passer in the NFL. Who knows? It's admittedly not quite the upside of the rushing QBs, but at 105 in a super flex draft, I will take Stroud.
And Stroud's going to be good. Stroud is the type of player that doesn't get you fired in real life, but Stroud is the type of player you take when Seth Dywald is living rent-free in your head, as he claims. And I agree, he's living rent-free in your head. The fact that you're going with the low-ceiling quarterbacks, you're going with the guys that aren't going to propel you to championships, that aren't going to win you weeks on their own. I like CJ Stroud, but he's going to the Carolina Panthers. Wide receiver 1, Adam Thielen. That's where you're laying down, Aaron. That is where you're laying down. And so with me back on the clock, I am going to take the RB2. I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs, especially given the pass catching upside. Zach Charbonnet, maybe some NFL team prefers Zach Charbonnet because he is more of a prototypical 3-down back. But Jahmyr Gibbs has all the upside of Alvin Kamara, all the upside of Austin Eckler, all the upside of being an elite pass catching back.
I was hoping, maybe, just maybe, you'd overvalue those QBs, let Jahmyr Gibbs fall to me, but a smart move. I will acknowledge that. Jahmyr Gibbs, I love the pass catching. The only real complaint is maybe a little small for our likings, but honestly, besides that, something he really can't control. He's proven every other thing. Extremely fast,
he can control it. He can gain a couple pounds, but 199 at the expense of running 4.36. I mean, I'll take the 4.36 instead.
Yes, and I believe his best comparable, CJ Spiller. I hear the collective groans in the audience with that one. Injuries derailed CJ Spiller's career. That's not a bad comp. That's a comp that I like. Hey, CJ Spiller had a few years in fantasy football where the hype kept him drafted in the first round of non-superflex leagues. Maybe Jahmyr Gibbs is the completion of that CJ Spiller arc, right? The alternate universe of a healthy CJ Spiller. And that upside is tantalizing there. So,
and that's the only reason people are mad at the CJ Spiller comparison is because he got pushed up into the first, second round. People drafted him and he hurt them because of the injuries. But there was a reason he was going in the first, second round because he was insane.
Exactly. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm really not as scared off with the size. He is my RB2. I've got to make my pick. I promise it wasn't a filibuster. Let's not get too crazy. I know I was fire with the Jaxon Smith-Njigba at 103, but Bryce Young at 106. I know he's small. He doesn't run. It's not even a fact that he can't run. It's more of a choice of not running. He's got some decent speed on him, just he prefers to stay in the pocket. And
Well, if he doesn't prefer to, he's going to get killed if he escapes the pocket. That's why.
we'll see. Maybe he could be a little elusive. But if all else, the thing that we do see in super flex drafts with quarterbacks is their value will always remain like 2-3 years after being drafted. They will still be highly valued in super flex dynasty leagues. With Bryce Young, it's also kind of a telling sign of this draft class. There's not really an option that I go, yes, I need to definitely draft this guy over Bryce Young. Does he have the speed of Anthony Richardson, the rushing upside? No, but really this class gets pretty disgusting real fast.
I mean, it's less disgusting when you leave players on the board for me by drafting Bryce Young. Oh no, Aaron, Seth, not on your side. Cody,
Well, it's because I beat him.
Not on your side either. The people are not behind Aaron Stewart and what he's doing. Greg V thinks I'm tanking for the year to get Caleb. No, I'm shooting for upside. I have all the upside in the world, especially because I'm going to be adding another 3-down running back, Zach Charbonnet. The fact that you let Zach Charbonnet fall to me, you took Bryce Young over Zach Charbonnet, a mistake that I made in our group draft. Previously, I would take Bryce Young at the 107 instead of Charbonnet, but no, no more. I admit that was a mistake. Give me Zach Charbonnet over Bryce Young, and the fact that you were able to do that, all right.
Zach Charbonnet, and I see Cody in the chat there. He'll like this pick. I know the audience. There's the reason I won Mock Draft Live last week, and I've banished Seth to the comment sections. It's because of my pick. I'm going to take the correct running back, Roschon Johnson, right? The guy that you look at just the productivity profile, it's not there. It's because there was this guy called Bijan Robinson there. Roschon Johnson getting a lot of hype. He's checking a lot of the boxes we have. Roschon Johnson, the NFL draft sleeper. Am I right, Cody?
Oh, I agree with you. Not just Cody. You finally made a good pick, Aaron. I will give you all the props here. Roschon Johnson, a great pick, but the fact that you took Bryce Young over Zach Charbonnet, the fact that you took CJ Stroud over Jahmyr Gibbs, no, that wasn't actually a mistake. The fact that you took Jaxon Smith-Njigba over Will Levis and CJ Stroud, those were the mistakes that you made. So you finally made a good pick. Even Seth agrees that Roschon was the right decision, and I can't fault you whatsoever.
I've got nothing to say. I am happy 5 picks into this. I look at the squad that I have put together, and when I compare it against yours, and you got all those quarterbacks that are going to be sitting for a year.
I mean, hey, what are you expecting first year? You think Jaxon Smith-Njigba is a wide receiver in 1 year one? No. He's going to be a productive slot receiver. He's going to be a wide receiver 2-3. He's going to be fine. I'm not bashing him, but you're going to have 1 year of being fine, and then I'm going to catch up with my quarterbacks, and then I'm going to be a stud.
Well, I do have to admit, I got hired. I got bought out. The mock draft, it's a fraud. Jack paid me to throw the draft because I'm now working at the funeral home.
Yeah, no kidding. Driving the hearse nowadays.
Got to pay the bills, right?
Oh, it's my pick. You're waiting on.
I was wondering.
You've
been filibustering this time.
No, I thought this was your pick, but there. I apologize, but I'm going to take. See, this is the nice thing. You've left me the top 3 remaining wide receivers because there's a tier where we go with Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Then there's a drop off to these 3 that we've got here, and I'm going to go with Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison has all of the upside in terms of being a PPR weapon that Jaxon Smith-Njigba does. And the NFL loves him. He very well could end up being drafted ahead of Jaxon Smith-Njigba in the NFL draft because NFL teams love him.
They do love him. But he is the perfect example of what's wrong with a lot of this wide receiver class. They all look like Devontae Smith physically, but none of them are going to be Devontae Smith. That is the painful truth about this rookie class. This 2023 rookie class that we've hyped up for years. Oh, it's not that good. That's the secret.
It's fine. There is a tier drop off, and Nah, I think you're at this point underrating the wide receiver class because it's not as great as we all expected, but it's not the hot garbage you seem to think it is.
It's underwhelming, and probably not hot garbage, just underwhelming. But what's not underwhelming is how we're going to round out this first round, because there is a running back that you look at the workout metrics off the freaking chart. He's not even 21 years old yet. He can't even drink to celebrate how good he's going to be in fantasy football. Now it's just a matter of if I can pronounce his name correctly. Israel Abanikanda. Did I butcher that?
Yeah, you did. It's Israel Abanikanda, the running back from Pitt. I don't know if I'm going to allow you to draft him after mispronouncing it that badly. We're going to give you whatever name you said. And it's like in the league. You get Cameron Jordan, I get Jordan Cameron.
Well, the thing I will say is I will learn to better pronounce his name as I learn more and more about this guy, because, wow, everything that you look at this profile, he checks all the boxes there. Size, 5'10", 216 pounds. Love that. Speed, 4.44, 40-yard dash, 90th percentile, which at that size is an even higher height-adjusted speed score, 93rd percentile, and burst. My goodness. Then the fact that this really isn't surprising, too, that he's that athletic, that big, that at Pittsburgh, he dominated 97th percentile college dominator. Ooh, and the college target share is just good enough to dare I say, could this maybe be like Kenneth Walker light, super explosive, super athletic running back, dominating running back in college, that there was questions about what can he do as a pass catcher. Not going to say he's a 50 reception guy, but he looks like he's done just enough to where he can catch enough passes to make an impact in fantasy football.
Okay, I understand what you're saying in terms of the role, but Kenneth Walker was RB2 off the board. Israel Abanikanda, he's already 1, 2, 3, 4, RB5. Devon Achane's going to be drafted ahead of him in the real NFL draft, so he is a poor man's Kenneth Walker at best, but I think you're overselling him a little bit.
I'll take the gamble at running back, though. Very much poor man's, but if it hits, there's a lot of things to like on this profile here. There's a lot of check boxes that he's checked. I'll take a gamble on him.
I'm going to take a gamble on running back. I know we're not going to get workout results for him, but Kendre Miller, he and Israel Abanikanda, if Kendre Miller didn't have knee surgery, he would be ahead of Israel Abanikanda for sure. He would be competing with Zach Charbonnet, with Roschon Johnson to be that RB3. The fact that I can get Kendre Miller at the end of the first round, future Minnesota Viking when they cut Dalvin Cook, give me Kendre Miller. I'm big Kendre Miller fan.
He's an interesting one. He's one that I'm having a hard time figuring out what to do, because I know that he didn't participate in Pro Day, right? Like, how athletic is he like projected to be? That's the hard thing. With all the workout metrics basically just being zero, I have no idea what to do with him. So admittedly, kind of got afraid of the uncertainty there. Would love to have an idea of how fast, how athletic he is. And look at what your pick did. It brought Cody back into the chat.
Yeah, Cody logged out because your pick was so bad, taking Israel Abanikanda. Me taking Kendre Miller, a much better pick than Israel Abanikanda, logs back in. We are in on Kendre Miller. Who are you in on to start round 2?
One of my favorite receivers is a super small guy, but he's got that dog in him. What was it? He gained something like 13 pounds between the Senior Bowl and his pro day. One Mr. Zay Flowers, just the all-time leading receiver in Boston College. Yes, I get it. We want the guys that leave early in college. But Zay Flowers just impressed me every single season, getting better. He's small. He's short, right? He's 5'9", but 183 pounds at that height that's an okay BMI. That's something I can live with there. I don't think he's going to get killed. Zay Flowers is a guy that I even like more than Jordan Addison.
Really? See, that one is interesting. See, I like Zay Flowers. Jordan Addison, I think he's got higher upside to be a PPR monster, to have a higher target share. Zay Flowers, I like better in real life. I think he's going to be more fun. He's going to be more electric. He's going to be more important to an NFL team. It's just in fantasy football, gadget players like that, sometimes it can hurt them. What I would love to see is him go to the Houston Texans, be that new Deebo Samuel for the San Francisco offense they're trying to recreate there. But with you taking Zay Flowers, that makes my decision easy. There were two players left on the board that are first round talent. FF Mad Scientists can't believe that Quentin Johnston really falls to round 2, getting him with the second pick of the second round, letting you make the decision. Because really, when it comes to Zay Flowers and Quentin Johnston, it's a coin flip who's going to be the better receiver. Quentin Johnston, he's not as fast as DJ Chark. He's more of a clasher, but he's going to play that role. He's going to have those boom weeks, especially in a best ball. You're going to love those. It's going to be the exact same as Zay Flowers. You're going to get some of those boom weeks. You're going to get some quiet weeks. So really, you made my choice easy by taking the wrong running back in Israel Abanikanda. I get the right one in Kendre Miller, and then you get you're stuck with the wide receiver.
I'll say that those that have been following the mock draft lives that I've been a participant in, I've been a massive Quentin Johnston fan until he ran at his pro day. I'm concerned. There's not a lot of receivers that particular size of 6'3" and 209, 208, 209. It's massive amount of burst. I was on board because it matched his yards per reception. I said that athleticism shows up in the stat sheet. But then you start to look at the data analysis tool, which is a fun plug right here because we just updated the data analysis tool. It is so nice. Like, I'm having a hard time getting my work done because I just want to be on data analysis all day, every day. You don't find a lot of receivers. Like, since I went back to like 2012, looked at receivers drafted first, second round, a lot of burst, maybe the same breakout age, that size. There's not a lot. There's not good options. Like, the closest one that I can kind of find is like Corey Davis. It's kind of rough. That's not his official comp. That's just me looking historically at guys that look similar to Quentin Johnston. But there's some that if you squint a little bit, like maybe Devontae Adams, maybe DeAndre Hopkins, but they were much bigger BMI receivers than Quentin Johnston. So I'm kind of worried about him. And this is coming from a guy that I have been a massive fanboy of Quentin Johnston until recently.
So, he ran the same time as Addison. He's way bigger. He's going to be fine. He's just a clasher like Mike Thomas. Ran a faster 40. Mike Thomas 4.56, and he runs a 4.50 at his pro day. We adjust the 0.05. It's fine. It's fine. It's not great like we were hoping, but it's fine. It's too much hate from Aaron on the 40.
If he ran fast, he would have been potentially the wide receiver one. If he could have somehow ran a sub 4.4, that would have been freaking amazing. Like, he would have checked everything there. And I try not to put too much emphasis on athleticism, but when you're looking historically at what the receivers that produce in fantasy football, it's Quentin Johnston he would be an outlier. That's for sure. So here's the tough one, because Quentin Johnston, he would have been the pick here for me if he was there. It looks like we kind of shift to wide receivers at this point. Which one am I going to take? I'm going to go with Tyjae Spears. I want to go a different route, but I'm going to go Tyjae Spears. Not quite as big as I would normally like, but pass catcher. I feel like he can have a big role in the NFL. And I can't shake the fact that last game that he played against USC in a bowl game, 4 touchdowns. So for all those people going, drafting a Tulane player, right? Guy from a small school, you can't control your schedule. But when you do get the chance, that one chance to go against the big boys and you produce that way, he could be a small school stud.
Yeah, I quite like him. The problem is he might go on day 3 of the draft. He might be drafted in round 4, round 5. As much as I like him, as much as I think he's going to be good in the NFL, we know that Devon Achane is going to be drafted on day 2. He could be drafted in the second round. He's going round 3 at the latest, and he does all the same things as Tyjae Spears. He can run between the tackles, though he won't be asked to do that in the NFL. He can be a better satellite back, better pass catching back. I know he is small, but he's got the juice and the PPR upside that I'm okay with Devon Achane being a little bit tiny at this point with a 204 in the draft.
Well, that's like a technical foul right there. Hold on. So you're going with the draft capital with Devon Achane. You're going Tyjae Spears may fall to day 3. Guess who almost fell to day 3 last season? Oh, yeah, that's the golden boy of player profiler, Rachaad White. Yes, you best believe I can fit it into any stream that I am on. And guess who got
but he did go day 2, though. He did go day 2.
Barely. Oh, man. But James Cook went super early second round. You just drafted lesser James Cook, and I just drafted better Rachaad White with Tyjae Spears. That's one for the quote graphics. Producer,
I don't know.
That's a quote. That's breaking the fourth wall here.
I can't in good conscience make that graphic. You're going to have to do that one yourself.
And Nate, if you're watching the show, that's the quote graphic right there. That's the quote for the show. So let's get Devon Achane off the board here. You made the mistake. This is where Cody has to go, that he logs off again because Jack made the bad pick. Looking ahead here, I'm going to go wide receiver. Because I have a type. I do. Last year was Wan'Dale Robinson. The year before was Elijah Moore. This year, it's going to be Josh Downs. North Carolina, the thing that I cannot shake with Josh Downs is I did some of the bios for the wide receivers. There was a season. I'm going to get the right season here because I don't think it was the senior season. But with Josh Downs, like you looked at North Carolina's pass catching stats, he literally caught like half the passes in that offense. That's why he has this insane, in 2021, this insane target share that almost exceeds 40%. He was the guy, kind of like Wan'Dale Robinson. And what breaks my heart is we saw Wan'Dale Robinson break out, and it came at the cost of tearing his ACL. So I go right back to the well. And look, Josh Downs' best comparable is Wan'Dale Robinson. He's small. I get it. But the college target share, 97th percentile. The breakout age, 87th percentile. He's got burst. He's got speed. Josh Downs, I'm a sucker for these guys. The small, undersized guys, I know. I'm a sucker for them, but give me Josh Downs.
I don't know if I would back you up that he's got speed. I mean, a 4.48 at 5'9", 171, a 12th percentile speed score. That's your definition of speed, Aaron?
The small guys will always be at a disadvantage in speed score because they are small.
Well, I mean, still, it's a 4.48. You want to
and I see the mad scientist with the slander of Wan'Dale Robinson. No. Wan'Dale Robinson is so much fun. Look, according to ACL,
according to Player Profiler, I am winning round 1 so far. Thank you, Player Profiler.
I've done this game before. They said Seth won round 1 last week, and the polls don't lie. It was almost a 70 to 30% vote there. 70% in favor of me. The audience, the listening audience, the ones that are paying attention to what's going on in the draft and not, typing the hate here in the comments for my drafts. They know who's drafting the best team.
Someone take a tight end. Not on your life. Not on your life, FF Mad Scientist. Not on your life. This one comes down to it, and I think at this point, Kayshon Boutte has to come off the board. I can't believe you ended up taking Josh Downs above Kayshon Boutte. I'm not a Kayshon Boutte guy. I was very disappointed with his combine, but he's gonna get day 2 draft capital. Some team is going to feed him targets in the slot, and he's going to be fine. So Kayshon Boutte, he is the next. He's in the tier of his own. He really is, because we've got Jaxon Smith-Njigba, the clear 1 of 1. We've got the 3 interchangeable guys in Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, and Zay Flowers. And then you've got Kayshon Boutte, who wasn't good at the combine, but at some point long ago was an elite prospect. So if I can get that Kayshon Boutte, yeah, at the 206, Aaron, I am sorry, but you are struggling, my friend.
I used to make excuses for Kayshon Boutte, right? Oh, things just didn't work out at LSU. But I don't know. He keeps failing every single event that comes out. He shouldn't have ran the 40. He did. He flopped. I don't know. He's got the early breakout, and that's literally all he's got to his name there. So is he the same player from like 2 years ago? Did he improve at all? I don't know. That's a big gamble. It's a big gamble. It's a gamble I'll let you take. That's for sure. Let's see. I see Seth in the comments too. Boutte at this stage of the draft is a great value, but
yeah, I'll take that risk at that pick. Give me it.
How about we go back to running back here? This is the time of the draft, no matter what year it is, right? To take flyers on running backs. Because if they hit, aka Isaiah Pacheco, right? Player profiler, super high on Isaiah Pacheco. So this is the point where I go draft capital should not play as big of a part when you get to, how many receivers have we drafted at this point? We've drafted a handful. We need running backs and upside. How about Tank Bigsby, right? Coming from Auburn, playing against SEC competition. He's got size, 6 foot, 210 pounds. The comp is not going to be sexy. The comp is Damian Harris. The workout metrics, a little underwhelming. What I do take away from a comp of Damian Harris is this is a type of player, this size, this production that has worked in the NFL to a degree. So this late in the second round, or this late, or what are we, middle of the second round? I can't even see the text because it's so small on the screen here. But like a very interesting thing is the college target share being 94th percentile. So might he surprise us a little bit? I don't know. I would like to see higher bursts, but there's a reason that he falls this far in drafts is if he had burst, he would check a massive box for me for running backs. I love running backs that have high burst scores, but a guy that could potentially be a 3-down running back with that college target share number that it was at, his final season at Auburn, scored 10 touchdowns. He caught 30 passes, just barely missed 1,000 yards. This running back class is a little rough there, but came out early as well. So you've got a few extra years. And the mad scientist disagreeing again. Tucker or Bigsby over Boutte. I thought he was saying Tucker over both of that. So Bigsby, I'm okay with that, especially this point of the draft here. Give me Bigsby.
I agree. For me, it was between Bigsby and Kayshon Boutte. I do not agree on Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker is not next for me. I don't think he would be a top 5 running back. I think he is ducking the workouts. He ducked the combine because he doesn't want to show us his athleticism. So no, I am not in on Sean Tucker. Instead, I'm going to go back to the quarterback throw in a surprise pick here late in the second round. And this is why I was disappointed in our group mock draft in the player profiler one when I took Bryce Young at the 107, because I realized, I could have just got Hendon Hooker in the second round at the 207. Perfect value. I now get that upside play at quarterback, probably a better prospect than Bryce Young based on the size. He is as prolific as Bryce Young. So people want to talk about how this is a bad quarterback class because we don't have the elite Joe Burrow, the elite Justin Herbert type, but we're getting 5 starting quarterbacks. Hendon Hooker is going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. As Matty Kiwoom put it, if he is with the Buccaneers, he's going to be starting before November.
With Superflex too, sure. And Hooker is a bit of a wild card too, because there could potentially be that team late in the first round that trades up to take him in the first round to be their quarterback. I'm not really scared of the age as much as most people are. At the end of the day, if he can play, which I think probably the concern is more so the torn ACL than anything. But he lands in an interesting situation because the one thing I've learned about analyzing quarterbacks is that nobody knows how to analyze quarterbacks because crazy NFL stuff. Josh Allen, let's take him for an example. Him going to Buffalo was perfect. You have the stability of the same coach, the same GM. They're able to truly build a team around him and he's been able to excel. So that could happen with Hendon Hooker because more than likely he would be going to a good situation. Admittedly, my pick is CJ Stroud. My concern is going to Carolina that I don't think is a good franchise overall, could completely ruin CJ Stroud. So Hooker in a super flex, take a gamble because the if he hits, like you just turned a late second round pick into a guy you could trade for a first round pick if Hooker becomes something in fantasy football. So I am going to make my next pick here. And I see the comments there. It's been tough. We've been playing a game of chicken at the tight end position, but it is time to take Michael Mayer at tight end. The one thing that I can't, I hate taking tight ends in rookie drafts because they take a while to develop. But I don't think I can recall the last time I've seen a tight end with over a 30% target share in their college stats. That's impressive. Honestly, his freshman season is 17%. That's really impressive for tight ends. It got better at 22% his sophomore season, which was his breakout season, and then 31% as a junior, and then he leaves early from college. I'm sold. I don't like to take tight ends early in drafts, but if there's one guy that I believe in is going to hit in fantasy football, he's proven he's a pass catcher clearly in college football. The best comparable, Zach Ertz, which is fitting. This isn't an overly athletic guy, but sometimes we do fall for the overly athletic tight ends, right? Albert Okwuegbunam, right? Sometimes you just have to find the guys that are good at being pass-catching tight ends for fantasy football. Give me Michael Mayer, and I can already feel it. What is Seth saying in the comments? Without me even looking, I know he's saying something.
He's tipping the cap to you. The fact that you got Michael Mayer this late. In terms of ADP value, yeah, this is a value. But in terms of what you're actually getting, I mean, congratulations for drafting Cameron Brate, Aaron. Real happy for you.
Ooh, you think Cameron Brate for that? Ooh, I've had some spicy takes, but that's pretty spicy. You don't think Michael Mayer could be something?
Michael Mayer is fine. He's going to be a Cole Kmet. He's going to be a Cameron Brate. He's going to be a starting tight end in the NFL. He's not going to be a guy that you reliably trust. He's just going to be there. He's going to be Cade Otton. We know this type. We know the Austin Hoopers. And for a time, Austin Hooper was great until he wasn't. And that's who Michael Mayer is. He might be great for a time, and then people will realize, oh, he's not a $10 million a year tight end. He's just a fine guy. He's a top 20 starter at tight end. And what is that worth?
Man, I think the bigger question is what did Michael Mayer do to you? We're going to have a live stream therapy session here because
he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just fine. But unathletic tight ends, they don't get the juices pumping. Athletic running backs get the juices pumping. Evan Hull, as JJ Zacharyson put it, he's going to be a satellite back in the NFL from day one because he is a pass catcher with size. He has that opportunity when he succeeds as a pass catcher, when he works well in efficiency metrics, he's going to get a bigger chunk of the pie, and it's going to happen slowly. And then by year 3, he's a 3-down back. Evan Hull, he is the kind of running back that coaches love. I don't know if you watched the combine, Aaron, but I did. And Evan Hull, after every single carry, ran all the way to the end zone. After the 40, all the way to the end zone. Evan Hull is a coach's dream, and that's going to help him put up fantasy points.
Now the question's going to be, how much draft capital will he get? Has he done enough? Is it going to bump him into even the 4th round category? Where would you say his projected draft capital is?
I think he's going to go round 3, round 4.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. If he gets 3rd round, 4th round capital, I'll be a lot higher on Evan Hull. It's been one of those guys that in trying to follow some of these mock drafts here, I haven't seen him highly drafted, and he could become that next small pass catching running back that looks great.
He's not that small though.
Well, what's his size? That's maybe I'm misremembering him.
I think he's 210.
Let's see. Player profiler never lies. So we're going to check here. Okay. bigger than I thought. I misremembered there. So yeah, that size. The Benjamin comp I can live with too. Like I know Benjamin burned us. Everyone at this point has had Benjamin at some point in fantasy football. Could be the guy that is the alternate timeline. But I'm going to go with one of my guys because every time I pass on him, I get a little nervous. I love Jayden Reed. Just everything about this guy gets me excited because the way he starts his career at Central Michigan. People that have listened to me on past live streams know exactly where I'm going to go. Do you know what other wide receiver was at Central Michigan?
Who is that, Aaron?
It was an overhyped guy, but a guy that did get drafted in the second round in the NFL. That was Dwayne Eskridge, right? Remember him? He was going to be something, right? But I know he flopped in the NFL. But day one, as a freshman at Central Michigan, it was my guy, Jayden Reed, that was the number one wide receiver over Dwayne Eskridge. And he could have gone the Sky Moore route and stayed at lower competition and looked good dominating the lesser competition. But he gambled on himself. He said, you know what? I'm going to transfer. I'm going to transfer to Michigan State. He had to sit out a year because of transfer rules. But the 3 years after that, he just continued to produce and get better at Michigan State. Dynamic too. That is one thing that I'm looking for if I'm drafting a receiver this late, like towards the tail end of the second round, third round of rookie drafts. I want dynamic wide receivers. Why? Because they're probably going to play on special teams. That's going to keep them active every single week. And if there is an injury at wide receiver, boom, his chance to perform increases dramatically. But I also think he's a good receiver. And I'm not even going to talk about the fact that he's got a fantastic comp there. That is not saying he is going to be what that best comparable comp is. In fact, I'll tease it. I'm not even going to say it. If you're interested, you need to go to Player Profiler and type in Jayden Reed, and it might change your mind. If you're a little low on Jayden Reed, you might be bumping him up a few spots there when you see how he tests, or not how he tests, but that best comparable comp. But Jayden Reed is definitely one of my guys. Seth, I know you are watching and listening. We need to make that one of my guys.
All right. Jayden Reed is Aaron's guy. Make sure you vote in the round one poll. 50-50 still. I don't know how I'm tied with Aaron for our first rounds, but I'm going to close out the second round with Jalin Hyatt. Jalin Hyatt, the fact that he almost went in round 3 of our draft here, pretty ridiculous. I know we've got him ranked lower than most sites. That's because he's a one-trick pony and he's not that fast compared to other one-trick ponies at 4.4, but he's going to have every chance to succeed in the NFL because he's going to be drafted in round 1. That's it. When you get chances to succeed, it's up to you to take advantage of that, right? So Jalin Hyatt, he's going to be on the field from day 1. If he busts, okay, I missed on a speedster. If he hits, great. I have a Deshaun Jackson type player who can win me a week by himself.
I'm not going to bash that pick. There's nothing to bash. Jalin Hyatt is great. There's a lot of hate for him, but here's my fun stat for Jalin Hyatt, right? A Biletnikoff Award winner, right? Which that, for people that don't watch college football, that goes to the best collegiate receiver in college. I guess that was redundant there. But when we've seen recent award winners of that, especially guys that come from the SEC, they get first-round NFL draft capital. Jalin Hyatt, I know you said he's not fast. Because he's small, that speed score is not great, but he ran a 4.4. That's 91st percentile. So you've got a fast Biletnikoff Award winner from the SEC. It is almost guaranteed he is going to be a first-round pick. People will be stunned by it, but just historically, what the NFL looks for, that's what they want. I love Jalin Hyatt. If anything, kind of looking back on that, I thought maybe he doesn't go Jalin Hyatt. That would be my next pick because I just believe in that talent. And there's going to be the people that go, oh, the breakout age. I get it. Sometimes there are those exceptions where it takes a little bit to click. And then when it does, oh my God. And when you go back and watch what he did to Alabama with Nick Saban as their head coach. And what does he specialize in coaching? Defensive backs. and you see what Jalen Hyatt did against that secondary, that right there should be enough to sell you on Jalen Hyatt.
He's great. He really is. And I misspoke by saying he's not fast. He doesn't have the elite speed. We were hoping for the 4.3. We were hoping he would have Trey Palmer speed. He doesn't, but that's okay. He still has pretty fantastic speed himself. So I'm putting together here, I'm pulling it up so that way we can look at our teams side by side so people can compare who they actually prefer. But I think I got to say, I know I'm a little bit biased. I think it's pretty clear that I won. I mean, Bryce Young, Aaron, as your QB2.
Well, what I'll say, and that's if I can get my mic to work here, having technical difficulties. There was the one comment, I think it's from the Mad Scientist, that said that my team got the QB1, the RB1, the wide receiver 1, and the tight end 1. And you just fill out the rest of the roster with, of course, great picks. I mean, I am like 1-0 since I've been keeping track of this on the community tab on YouTube here. We're going to keep that streak going, right? 2-0. YouTube knows what the right answer is.
I don't know if I think YouTube knows, and I think YouTube knows that the right answer is me. The fact that I mean they're wrong on the QB1. If you want to talk about real NFL, sure. I mean you got the real QB1, but you're gonna flaunt that you got CJ Stroud. I mean, okay, congrats on having Jared Goff. Congrats on drafting Jared Goff, Aaron. I'm so happy for you. Not every pick was bad. Let's not throw shade completely, but a lot of misses on the board for you, Aaron. Taking Israel Abanikanda over Kendre Miller, man. I mean, what are we doing?
With Kendre Miller, we're gonna see there's a lot of unknowns that scare the crap out of me, and not in a lot of boxes that really check for me. So I'll always take the gamble on the highly athletic running backs. That can pay off.
I mean, Kendre Miller is a highly athletic running back, and it will pay off.
Is he athletic? I didn't see any numbers there. See a lot of like speculation, right? Could he be fast like Quentin Johnston was gonna be fast, but then it was kind of eh.
Aaron got all the boring QBs. Jack is the answer so far, according to YouTube. The Harry Snowman started out on Team Aaron, but Jack hit it strong down the stretch. Mad Scientist hates me with the Anthony Richardson pick. Fine. If you want to miss out on elite upside, if you want to miss out on Konami code, fine, go ahead. But I am more than happy to win with this beautiful, beautiful team here. You can all see that live on the YouTube page. But let us know who you think is the winner. Let us know who you had. No, come on, Aaron.
I mean, nothing was happening there, right? Oh, I thought that the player profiler account was being a little rigged there. I misread the message there. I thought it said vote now for Jack. I was like, well, hold on. I mean, so
they should, but no, it's not rigged. This is a fair. They're just saying the news. The news is Jack is winning because he deserves to.
Yeah, with those QBs that may eventually start. We'll see. We'll see.
May eventually start. We're getting 5 starting quarterbacks, Aaron. That's all there is to it. Jack is winning. Any final defenses of your low upside roster?
I will have an interesting defense of saying that tomorrow on Discord, 8 p.m. Eastern time, you can join me and my co-host Chris. What we do is we're actually going to record a version of this for YouTube as well, but join us on Discord to get the full show. We're going to show you guys how to use Player Profiler to make the right decisions, to show you what pitfalls you can avoid. Player Profiler is a very powerful tool. It's the only tool that you need to win in fantasy football. A lot of times people don't know how to use it. And fortunately, you can use code Aaron right now to get $10 off the all-in package. And that is the best deal in the fantasy football game. The all-in package is for in season will include DFS, but right now we've got rankings. We've got rankings for the FFPC. We've got rankings for best ball, for underdog. We've got the data analysis tool, which I mentioned early in the show. It is updated. It looks so nice. The data analysis tool is almost my fantasy football Bible. We've Got everything that you could possibly want and more with the all-in package. And just remember that code Aaron to get $10 off.
And maybe you should spend a little bit more time in the data analysis section so you can compete with me, so that next time we meet, you have a little bit better showing on Mock Draft Live.
Hey, you like that video? Be sure to subscribe and activate those alerts so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. And be sure to check out playerprofiler.com. We have all the tools for you to dominate every type of fantasy league. We have a draft kit, Dynasty Deluxe, data analysis, DFS Dominator, and don't forget the player rankings to rule them all.